think Russia is letting its people see and hear the global response to this crisis on social media platforms? While the Russian-Ukraine conflict has sparked waves of concern across the globe, it also marks a rather important inflection point in social media history. While a conflict of this type does spell bad in terms of socio-political impacts, quite the opposite occurred in combating the spread of misinformation. As it stands, it seems that social media networks were more prepared than expected in quelling various forms of counter-narratives and misleading news. In case you're not aware, ever since the attack on Ukraine, efforts to combat fallacious information disseminated by Russian-owned organizations were significantly ramped up. That decision was unanimous among major social media networks, seeing as how passive action would only leave their respective channels open to misuse. For years, the influential power of social media has been dismissed, suggesting that higher authorities did not perceive the threat of social media sites being used as propaganda tools as a real threat. Recent events have since shook that outlook and has given the ability of social media to influence the flow of information a heftier way in. Aware of the consequences, major platforms such as Facebook and Twitter have decided to take strong stances and choosing not to allow misinformation to besmirch their channels. In their defiance to comply with the Kremlin's demands, both platforms were either limited or finally cut off in Russia. Misinformation is always bad, regardless of the shape and form. Misleading advertising is just as bad as blatant propaganda, in that both do not tell people the exact truth. While the world quickly voices its condemnation of Russia's actions, Russian citizens are likely blinded to global response thanks to the censorship of what is perhaps their greatest external information sources, social media platforms. While it's great that we get to combat online misinformation better now, what we really hope for is that this conflict ends soon.